Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more English story. Life has a way of testing us when we least expect it. That's what happened to Sam, a 28-year-old office worker with big dreams, but an even bigger decision to make. Two paths. Sam had always wanted to start his own business. For years, he dreamed of opening a small cafe, a place where people could relax, sip coffee, and feel at home. But life had other plans. His job, though not his passion, was stable. It paid the bills and kept his family comfortable. One day, an opportunity came knocking. A friend offered him a partnership in a small cafe. But it came with risks. Sam would have to quit his job and invest almost all his savings. Sam felt torn. On one side was his dream, full of hope and excitement, but uncertain. On the other side was his job, predictable and safe, but unfulfilling. What should I do? He asked himself over and over. The advice that changed everything. One evening, Sam decided to visit his mother. She had always been his rock, giving him honest advice whenever he felt lost. As they sipped tea in the kitchen, Sam poured out his worries. What if I fail? Mom? What if I lose everything? But what if I never try and always wonder what could have been? His mother listened carefully and then said something simple yet profound. Life is like planting a tree. You can't guarantee it will grow perfectly, but if you never plant the seed, you'll never know its potential. Playing safe might keep the ground empty, but taking a risk gives it the chance to bloom. Her words hit home. He realized he had been focusing too much on the fear of failure and not enough on the possibility of success. The leap of faith. After many sleepless nights, Sam made his decision. He quit his job and joined his friend in starting the cafe. The first few months were tough. Customers were slow to come in, and there were days Sam doubted himself. But Sam didn't give up. He worked hard, serving coffee with a smile, listening to customers, and improving every detail. Slowly but surely, the cafe gained a reputation as a warm and welcoming place. The outcome, 2 years later, Sam stood behind the counter of his bustling cafe. Regular customers greeted him like an old friend. The risk he took had paid off, not just financially, but emotionally too. Sam felt alive, proud, and fulfilled. He often thought about his mother's advice. It wasn't just about the cafe. It was about facing fear, believing in himself, and choosing growth over comfort. Why it matters. Sam's story isn't just about starting a business. It's about making tough choices. In life, we all face crossroads where one path feels safe and the other feels risky. The truth is, growth and fulfillment often lie on the harder road. Sometimes, we hesitate because we fear failure. But what if success is waiting on the other side of that fear? Moral of the story: fear is natural. But don't let it stop you from chasing your dreams. Taking risks is scary, but it's often where the greatest rewards lie. Believe in yourself, even when the road seems uncertain. Surround yourself with people who support and inspire you. It's better to try and fail than to live with what if. This story reminds us that difficult choices shape our lives. The safe path might feel comfortable, but the bold one leads to growth, discovery, and a life worth living. Part 2. Sam's Cafe had finally gained momentum. But the journey wasn't smooth sailing. As with any new venture, unexpected challenges arose, testing his patience and determination. The first big hurdle, a few months after opening. The cafe's coffee machine broke down. Replacing it required money Sam didn't have. For days, he scrambled to make ends meet, brewing coffee the old-fashioned way, apologizing to customers for the delay, and trying to maintain his reputation. One evening, as Sam sat at the counter, exhausted and defeated, his friend and business partner, Jake, suggested taking out a loan. Sam hesitated. What if we can't pay it back? We've worked so hard to get this far. Jake replied, Sam, this cafe is more than just a business. It's a symbol of what we believe in. We're not just serving coffee. We're creating a community. We can't let one setback stop us. Inspired by Jake's optimism, Sam decided to take the loan. It wasn't an easy choice, but he reminded himself of his mother's words. You can't guarantee the tree will grow, but you have to plant the seed. Balancing personal life. As the cafe grew, so did the demands on Sam's time. He often worked long hours, leaving little room for his personal life. His friends noticed his absence, and his family started worrying about his health. One night, after closing the cafe, Sam's younger sister came to visit. You look tired, she said. You're building your dream, but don't forget to take care of yourself too. Her words made Sam realize something important. Dreams are worth chasing, but not at the cost of your health and relationships. He began to delegate tasks to his employees and set aside time each week for himself and his loved ones. The turning point. 6 months later, the cafe hosted its first community event, a poetry night. Customers filled the space, sharing stories, laughter, and a love for the written word. As Sam watched the lively crowd, he felt a deep sense of pride. His cafe wasn't just a business anymore. It was a place where people connected. One customer approached him after the event and said, "You've created something special here. This isn't just a cafe. It's a second home for many of us." Hearing those words reminded Sam why he started this journey in the first place. A new challenge. Just when things seemed to be settling, a new coffee shop opened across the street. It was a large franchise with flashy advertisements and lower prices. Sam's customers began to dwindle, and fear crept back into his mind. Instead of panicking, Sam turned to his team. Together, they brainstormed ways to stand out. They decided to focus on what made their cafe unique. Personal touches, high-quality ingredients, and the sense of community they had built. Sam also added new features, like a loyalty program and themed events, to attract more customers. Slowly, The cafe regained its charm, proving that even big competitors couldn't replace the warmth and authenticity of a small business. The lesson learned: through every challenge, Sam learned something valuable. Success isn't a straight road. It's a winding path filled with obstacles. But each one teaches you to adapt, grow, and keep moving forward. Even during the hardest times, Sam held on to the belief that he had made the right choice. The cafe wasn't just a place to serve coffee. It was a reflection of his journey, one of resilience, creativity, and heart. Part 3. Months passed, and Sam's cafe not only survived but thrived. The challenges he had faced became the stories he shared with others, proof that setbacks could be stepping stones. But the next chapter in Sam's journey wasn't about growing his business. It was about using his experience to inspire others. A spark of inspiration. One day, a young woman named Mia entered the cafe. She looked nervous, clutching a notebook tightly. Sam noticed her sitting in the corner, staring at her coffee but barely drinking it. "Is everything okay?" Sam asked as he approached her table. Mia hesitated before replying, "I've been thinking of starting my own bakery, but I don't know if I can do it. What if I fail?" Sam smiled, pulling up a chair. "Do you want to hear a story?" As Mia nodded, Sam shared his journey, the doubts he had, the nights he questioned his choices, and the lessons he learned. "I was scared too, Mia," he said, "but I realized something important. Fear never goes away, but you can't let it decide for you. Every great story starts with a difficult choice." Mia left that day feeling encouraged. A month later, she returned to the cafe, beaming. "I signed the lease for my bakery space," she exclaimed. Sam felt a surge of pride, not just in her, but in the idea that his story had sparked someone else's courage. Building a community of dreamers. Word spread about Sam's Cafe being more than just a place for coffee. It became a hub for dreamers, entrepreneurs, and artists. Sam started hosting workshops, inviting local speakers to share their journeys. One session focused on overcoming failure, another on managing stress, and yet another on balancing work and personal life. The cafe buzzed with energy, becoming a space where people shared ideas, learned from one another, and found the courage to chase their dreams. The unexpected opportunity. One evening, a man in a suit walked into the cafe and introduced himself as Mr. Daniels, a local journalist. "I've heard about this place," he said. "Your cafe has become a symbol of hope for so many. I'd like to write a feature about you and your story." Sam was hesitant at first. He wasn't used to the spotlight. But Mr. Daniels reassured him. "Your story can inspire people who are stuck, wondering if they should take the leap. They need to hear this." The article was published a week later, titled "From Fear to Flourishing: How One Man's Dream Became a Community's Inspiration." The response was overwhelming. Messages of support poured in from strangers who felt motivated to face their own challenges. A personal revelation. Through all the success, Sam had an epiphany. The most fulfilling part of his journey wasn't just building the cafe. It was connecting with people, hearing their stories, and watching them grow. One night, as he closed the cafe, his mother visited. She looked around, her eyes shining with pride. You've created something beautiful. Sam, this isn't just your dream anymore. It's a place where others come to build theirs. Her words brought tears to his eyes. He realized that his dream had evolved. It wasn't just about coffee or a business. It was about creating a ripple effect of courage and hope. The final lesson. Sam understood that life is full of difficult choices, but those choices define who we become. Every fear faced, every risk taken, and every effort made contributes to something greater than ourselves. His cafe stood as a reminder to anyone who walked through its doors. Dreams are worth the risk. Failures are lessons in disguise. And when you help others rise, you rise too. The legacy of a choice. Years later, Sam's Cafe became a landmark in the town. No, not just for its coffee, but for the lives it touched. The wall near the entrance displayed messages from customers who had taken steps toward their own dreams. I started my art business after visiting this cafe. I overcame my fear of public speaking here. Sam's story gave me the courage to follow my passion. Sam smiled whenever he read those notes, knowing that the difficult choice he made years ago was the best decision of his life. Moral of the story: fear is a natural part of growth. Face it head on. Your story can inspire others, even when you don't realize it. Success isn't just about personal achievement. It's about the impact you have on others. Dreams require courage, persistence, and the willingness to take risks. Every choice we make has the potential to change not just our lives, but the lives of those around us. Be bold and trust that your efforts will create a brighter future. Part 4: Spreading the Ripple. Sam's story didn't end with his cafe success. It was just the beginning of a larger movement. As more people shared how their lives were transformed through the cafe, Sam realized he had the power to create even greater change. Mentoring the next generation. One day, a group of high school students visited the cafe as part of a community outreach program. Their teacher explained that these were students from challenging backgrounds, struggling to believe in their potential. Sam welcomed them warmly and shared his journey, how he turned fear into courage and doubt into action. Then, he asked the students to write down one dream they had, no matter how big or small. I want to be a musician, one boy said shyly. I dream of becoming a chef, a girl added. Another said, I just want my family to be proud of me. Sam looked at them and said, every dream starts with a first step. What's yours? He offered each of them mentorship, a chance to work at the cafe, learn life skills, and build confidence. Facing new challenges. As Sam expanded his mission, new challenges arose. Managing the cafe, mentoring others, and staying connected with his community stretched him thin. There were days he felt overwhelmed, questioning if he could handle it all. One evening, he confided in his mother. I'm trying to do so much. But what if I can't keep up? She smiled gently. Some. You've already shown that difficult choices lead to beautiful outcomes. Ask for help when you need it. You don't have to do everything alone. Taking her advice, Sam formed a team. He hired passionate individuals who shared his vision and trusted them to carry the mission forward. Delegating tasks allowed him to focus on what mattered most, inspiring others, creating a bigger platform. Encouraged by the cafe's success, Sam started hosting an annual event called Dreamers Unite. It brought together speakers, artists, entrepreneurs, and everyday people who had faced and overcome their fears. The event became a beacon of hope for the community. Sam shared the stage with others whose stories resonated deeply. A single mother who built a thriving business despite doubters. A former athlete who found purpose after a career-ending injury. A young woman who turned her love for storytelling into a best-selling novel. Each story reminded the audience that no dream is too big and no struggle too small to overcome. The ripple becomes a wave. Years later, Sam's Cafe had inspired similar spaces in neighboring towns. People began creating their own hubs where dreams could take root. One day, Sam received an unexpected letter. It was from Mia, the young woman who had once hesitated to start her bakery. Dear Sam, I wanted you to know that your words changed my life. My bakery is thriving, but more importantly, I now mentor others who are afraid to take their first step. You showed me that kindness and encouragement can create a ripple effect. Thank you for believing in me when I couldn't believe in myself. With gratitude, Mia. Sam held the letter close, tears in his eyes. It was a powerful reminder that the choice he made to step out of his comfort zone and follow his dream had created waves of positive change. A life well lived. As Sam grew older, he looked back on his journey with immense gratitude. What started as a small cafe had become a movement of courage, connection, and transformation. His story was proof that difficult choices are not just moments of struggle. They are the seeds of growth. Sam often shared this final piece of advice. Life will always present you with hard decisions. Choose the one that scares you but excites you. That's where growth happens. And remember, every choice you make has the power to inspire someone else. Be brave, not just for yourself, but for the people who need your story. The legacy of a dreamer. Sam's legacy was more than a successful cafe. It was the lives he touched, the dreams he inspired, and the proof that one person's courage could change the world. And as the sun set over his beloved cafe one final time, Sam knew he had lived a life worth remembering, not because it was easy, but because he had made the difficult choices that mattered most. Final moral of the story. Difficult choices often lead to the most rewarding outcomes. You don't have to do everything alone. Ask for help and build a team. Your story can create a ripple effect of hope and courage in others. Growth happens when you step outside your comfort zone. The legacy you leave is not in what you achieve, but in the lives you touch. This story reminds us that courage, resilience, and the willingness to inspire others can turn any challenge into an opportunity for greatness. The end. Years passed, and Sam's Cafe became a landmark in the community, a place where dreams were born, fears were conquered, and lives were transformed. People from all walks of life came to the cafe not just for the coffee, but for the warmth, the inspiration, and the belief that they too could overcome their own challenges. Sam had grown older, and though his hair had turned gray, his eyes still sparkled with the same passion that had ignited his journey years ago. One evening, as he sat on the porch of his cafe, watching the golden hues of the sunset, a young woman approached him. She introduced herself as Lily and said, "Mr. Sam, I've heard so many stories about you. I want to thank you for everything you've done for this community. Your courage gave my parents the strength to start their own business. And because of that, I'm able to pursue my dream of becoming a teacher." Sam smiled warmly and replied, "Lily, never forget that your story can inspire others just as mine inspired your parents. Keep spreading that light." As Lily walked away, Sam reflected on how far he had come. The small, scared voice in his head that once doubted his ability to make a difference was now replaced with a deep sense of fulfillment. A legacy of hope. Sam's Cafe continued to thrive even after he stepped back from its daily operations. The team he had built carried forward his vision with the same dedication and love. Before Sam passed away peacefully years later, he left behind a note for his community. It read, "To everyone who has ever doubted their ability to make a difference, remember, the most difficult choices often hold the greatest rewards. Take that first step, no matter how scary it feels. You never know whose life you might change, including your own. With love and gratitude, Sam." The ripple lives on. Sam's legacy wasn't just about a cafe. It was about courage, connection, and the power of believing in oneself. His story became a beacon of hope, passed down from one generation to the next. And in every corner of the town, in every heartfelt conversation, and in every small act of kindness, Sam's spirit lived on, a timeless reminder that difficult choices shape not only our lives but the world around us. Final thought. The end of Sam's story was not truly an end. It was the beginning of countless other stories, written by those who were brave enough to make their own difficult choices and inspire others along the way. Because in the end, the most meaningful journeys are not the ones we walk alone, but the ones we walk together. I'm so glad you spent this time with me. If you like the story, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Take care, and see you next time.